plundering going on today?
It's the merchandise mafia at its work. Ever since Finch became vice president, they've all been scared out of their wits. When's the big meeting?
Except for this afternoon. I sure hope Ponty comes up with something. Where are you going?
Home.
At 10 o'clock in the morning?
I've resigned. I'm quitting.
Nonsense. You've been threatening that all week.
This time it's official. I left my letter of resignation on his desk. Wait till he reads it.
But,
Smitty, I just can't take it anymore. I don't mind a person ignoring me completely as long as he gives me a little attention.
he did tell you he loved you and that he wanted to marry you.
It's supposed to be secret.
Oh, don't worry. I haven't told anyone.
What's the matter?
Rosemary is resigning from Finch.
But I thought she was going to marry him. That's what
Me too! I only told the girls. Don't worry, she will forgive me.
Never!
Oh, you've got to.
Look, Rosemary, there's one thing you can't overlook, and that's loyalty.
I've been very loyal to him.
I don't mean to him, I mean to us girls. How often does it happen that the secretary's boss wants to marry her? Hallelujah! How often does the dream come true without sign of conflict or barrier? Hallelujah! Why treat a man like he was a typhoid carrier? How often can he fly from this land of carbon paper to the land of flowered chintz? Hallelujah! How often does a Cinderella get a crack at the prince? Cinderella and the prince.
No, I'm no Cinderella. I've got $85 in the bank and a savings bond.
It's not a matter of money. He's a vice president. That makes him automatically a prince. True?
True. So you're automatically a Cinderella. See?
Don't you realize? You're a real-life fairy tale. A symbol divine. So if not for your own sake, please, darling, for mine. Don't, Cinderella, darling, don't turn down the prince. Don't rewrite your story. Legend, the folklore, the working girl's dream of glory. We will race on you, darling, and we love you ever since. Don't mess up our major miracle, no. Cinderella, don't turn down the prince. Oh, let us live it with you, each hour of each day. Like the Bergdorf Goodman, Elizabeth Gordon, in the station wagon.
No! New Rochelle?
New Rochelle PTA. Please. Oh, do not leave us minus. Please. Our vicarious bonus. Please. We want to see His Highness. Please. Bear it to your ownness. On you, Cinderella, sits Leonas. So may you reign a happy day. Please phone us. Phone us! But don't, Cinderella, darling, don't turn down the prince. Why spoil our enjoyment? The fable, the symbol of glorified unemployment. We will race on you, darling, and we've loved you ever since. Don't blouse up our favorite fairy tale, don't. Cinderella, don't. Cinderella, don't. Cinderella, don't.
All right, I'll give him one more chance.
Hallelujah.
vice president. You have climbed the ladder of success rung by painful rung until you have almost reached the top. You have done beautifully. Unless you are a vice president in charge of advertising. In that case, you are in terrible trouble. There is only one thing that can save you. You must get a brilliant idea. The quickest way to get ideas is to develop them. That is, you must examine the undeveloped, worthless notions of others and add to them that extra something that makes the idea your own. An undeveloped notion may come from the least likely source. Be alert. You never know who will bring it to you.
Hi, Ponty. Oh, hello, bud. Sorry I busted in, but there was no one outside. First time I've seen your new office. Quite a layout. My favorite style. Chinese provincial. I suppose you're wondering why I'm here. Frankly, yes. Ponty, I want you and me to be friends. You know, smoke 'em peace pipe. You've never liked me.
Oh, bud.
Don't deny it. It's true, and I don't blame you. I've been a no-good, backbiting fink.
Bud, that's a bit strong.
How would you put it?
I guess your way is best.
Well, I'd like to change all that. Now I know you're stuck for an idea.
Now, wait a minute,
I was
bud.
thinking-
I'm not
See, I was
stuck.
thinking that
No, I don't
giveaway
need
shows
anyone
when
else's
we come
idea.
back and-
What was that?
Well, I have this idea for a giveaway program. It's called the Worldwide Wicked Treasure Hunt. We hide $1,000 savings bond somewhere, and every week on television, we give clues as to where it is. Now look, as you say, you don't need an idea, but let me leave this with you, and if you get the chance, look it over, because the meeting's in a few little while. I mean, it's soon.
Bud, what did your uncle say when you brought this to him?
I haven't told it to him, Ponty. If I brought it to him, he wouldn't listen. That's why I brought it to you.
You haven't told it to your uncle.
No, Ponty. Look, if you're not interested...
Well, Bud, the idea doesn't give me much nourishment, but maybe I'll give it a bit of a think.
Feel free to use it.
I have returned!
Treasure hunts. Could be $1,000 bond. This thing needs some kind of new twist.
Conti, I'm back. I changed my mind.
Hi, Miss Pilkington.
I don't blame you for being cold to me, but I did change my mind.
About what?
About what I said in the letter.
What letter?
My letter of resignation.
Resignation from what?
The Girl Scouts of America.
Oh.
Don't you understand? I resigned! Quit! Left you forever.
Why are you doing that?
Because I was hurt, humiliated, ignored, and upset.
Who did that to you?
You.
Me? Well, it couldn't have been me. I haven't said 10 words to you all week. True?
True.
Great. Now listen, Miss Pilkington.
Oh, must you call me that? Can't you call me Rosemary?
No, and I want you to call me Mr. Finch until you're Mrs. Finch.
Am I really going to be Mrs. Finch?
Oh, come on. I thought that was all settled.
I keep thinking maybe you forgot.
Well, I haven't. You're going to be Mrs. Finch because we are going to be married. Now, may we discuss some serious matters?
Oh, sure.
Miss Pilkington, I have something I want you to hear. I've finally come up with a new idea for a television show. I'm thinking of calling it the Worldwide Wicked Treasure Hunt. The prize is going to be a $1,000 bond. Do you think that's enough? Maybe we ought to make it $25,000? Listen carefully, Rosemary. What would you say if we gave away $100,000? $200,000?
Darling, I don't care if you give away the whole company. I love you.
Say that again.
I love you.
No, before that.
I said I don't care if you give away the whole company.
That's it! We'll give away the company! What a prize! Oh, I don't mean the whole company, I mean stock in the company. No one can resist that these days. I've got to have time to work this out. I've got to speak to Mr. Bigley. He's got to give me a postponement. No, I'll go see him.
Good luck, Mr. Finch.
Thank you, Miss Pilkington.
Say, what about taking me to lunch? Nobody has to see us.
Miss Pilkington.
I'm sorry, Mr. Finch. To be loved by a man with a goal, to watch as he climbs with a purpose in life and purity of soul. Oh, to be there in the corner of his mind, darling, absent mind, such heaven. wearing the wifely uniform while he goes onward and upward, happy to keep his dinner warm till he comes wearily home from downtown.
Are you pregnant or something?
Hetty, I was just checking on some new plastic yarn. Hetty, I told you I can't meet. What the hell do you want?
JB, you remember that television idea I told you about once? The treasure hunt?
I told you what I thought of that treasure hunt idea.
I just wanted to remind you that you didn't like it.
Hetty, I told you that during office hours I can't meet with you.
I did not intend to embarrass you. I came for business purposes.
Business?
I wish to tell you with my resignation.
Your resignation. What are you going to do?
Going to Los Angeles. I've been offered a very suitable position there.
Los Angeles? Hetty, you can't. Tell me what this is about.
I got a letter from a girlfriend. She's working for a big cosmetic firm out there, demonstrating skin cream.
Skin creams?
Yeah, and all the big glamorous department stores. She said she could get me a job.
That's undignified. You can't go around demonstrating some fake goo.
It is not fake. It is a very fine skin cream called Dermoplast. You want to know what it's made from?
Please don't tell me.
Shark belly jelly.
I was afraid of that. You said you wanted a career. What kind of future is there in shark bellies?
More than there is around here. Not a single guy around here will use me as a secretary. They stay away from me like I'm an extremely tropical disease.
If you just be patient.
No, I've made up my mind. Bon voyage.
Well, good luck, dear.
Huh?
I'll manage somehow. Only how will I spend those lonely nights?
You could stay at home.
I can't go home. I'm a married man.
Oh, you'll do all right.
Hetty, I can't live without you.
You need me?
Of course I do. I know I seem to have everything. Old rich J.B. Bigley. Old money bags. People come to me with treasure hunts. My days spent talking about money, but what does it all mean? Hetty, nothing. Nothing means anything without you.
Now wait a minute. Don't stop getting sincere. That's not fair.
Where will I find a treasure like the love from a heart of gold, ever trusting and sweet and awaiting my pleasure, rain or shine, hot or cold, wealth far beyond all measure. Maybe here in my hands I hold. Ah, but where can I find that one treasure of treasures? The love from a heart of gold.
I never knew you felt that way.
No one knows this, but I'm extremely emotional.
Dingly dang dong, so am I. Where will I find a Cupid score? Like the love from a heart of gold. Ever trusting and sweet and awaiting my pleasure. Rain or shine,
Rain or shine,
out of
hot
gold.
or cold.
Well, far beyond all measure, maybe soon in my hands I hold. Oh, but where will I find that one treasure of treasure?
The love from a heart of gold. I knew you'd understand.
I do. I bet I feel those on everything.
What?
Why don't I be your secretary?
You're out of your mind. I mean, I have Miss Jones.
I could assist Miss Jones. I could run a lot from her. You don't want me as the secretary.
You just need to be patient.
Oh, that's dear. I'll be patient. I'll give you 24 hours. After that, it's goodbye. We can tell them Dermoplast.
Hey!
a different idea. Let's see, I want to talk to you alone. Now, where can we meet?
Let's go to my place.
This is business.
Okay. Let's go to your place. Tell you what, take me out buying lunch, meet me downstairs around 1 o'clock.
Well,
Do you want to talk it out to?
Okay, but we better meet around the corner.
Back to chicken.
Hello, executive classroom. Yeah, I'm down here. What? The meeting's at 4:30. Come on down. We'll make plans.
Big meeting today, huh?
Yep. Anything about bitches plan? JB gave him a postponement, so he must have something. You know, fellas, I'm really beginning to get a little scared of Finch. Me too. You'll something too. He'll probably have us all working in the mail.
Hi, man. Hear anything, bud? Chaps, our worries are over. Finch is going through with the... Well, believe me, he's dead. And I'm so happy I could cry. That's very pleasant news.
I don't know. Finch has a way of bouncing. I would believe he was dead if I read his obituary.
Ordinarily, I agree with you. Finch is very smart. But don't forget, he's now in advertising. That does something to men's brains. Has anyone seen my wild root cream oil?
I am in. All set for the big meeting?
Could be. Wish me luck, man.
Good luck. Gotta stop that man. I gotta stop that man. Cold, or he'll stop me. Big deal, big rocket. Thinks he has the world in his pocket. Gotta stop that man. That man. Now there you are. Yes, there's that face that somehow I trust. It may embarrass you to hear me say it, but say it I must. Say it I must. You have the cool, clear eyes of a seer of wisdom and truth. Yet there's that upturned chin and the grin of impetuous youth. Stop
spends his time in the fields, the laborer at his machine, and the businessman at meetings.
Gentlemen, where's Finch?
Not here yet, sir.
Well, we'll start with that. We've got a lot of business to cover before we come to Finch's presentation. Brett,
Yes, JB.
the stuff you recommended for my crabgrass did not work at all.
I can't understand it, JB. It worked beautifully on my lawn.
My lawn is a mess. Better come up with something new.
Right, JB.
We don't have any trouble with crabgrass at our place.
What do you use?
Cement. Sorry, JB. Just a little joke.
Gentlemen, you'll excuse my nephew with his combination of youth, high spirits, and extreme stupidity. Now let's... Hello? Yes, we've been waiting for him. Send him in. It's Finch.
Gentlemen, I'd like to present my new approach to wicked advertising. It's based on an idea which, in my humble opinion, is brilliant.
Sounds promising. Proceed, Finch. What the hell is that?
A picture of Mount Vesuvius in eruption! That gives you an idea of the kind of impact our new television show is going to have. Now, JB, an example of the kind of national publicity you can look forward to. The cover of Time. Oh, God! The cover of Newsweek. And finally, JB, the golfer of the year.
Very interesting.
Now, here is a map of the potential wicked market, divided into social, geographic, and ethnic groups. It shows how we will make deep penetration and overwhelming saturation in areas where resistance has long been peakiest.
I like this thinking.
Thank you. Now here is a sales chart of the past fiscal year. It reflects the disastrous effect of our former advertising policy in terms of per capita consumption of wickets. Note the sharp decline from normal regularity. Down, down, down. And this is what's going to happen to our sales when we finally get going, as we will. Up, up, up! Oh. And there you are.
Very good, Finch. I think you've done it.
Can I ask a question, JB?
Yes.
What is his idea?
You heard. A television show that will give us deep penetration and peak reaction. Sounds great, Finch. Great, doesn't it, Ben?
Whatever, but what is his idea?
I don't see why you have to be so damn negative. All you come up with are lousy ideas like treasure hunts. All right, Finch, what is this idea for the show?
I don't think that I'm going to tell you.
What do you mean?
You know, JB, I've always thought of you as a man of breadth and vision, open to new ideas, but now I don't know. I'm thrown.
What?
The way you just spoke to Bud about his idea for a treasure hunt. The thing is, JB, there are treasure hunts, and there are treasure hunts. When Bud first brought the idea to me, I thought it was a lousy idea too.
I should hope so.
But then I remembered something. JB, you know that an idea in itself is nothing. It's the development that counts. Leonardo da Vinci drew some sketches for a flying machine, but it took American know-how to develop them into the Boeing 707. A man named Gatling once invented a little machine gun, but it took a mighty brain to take this simple little machine gun and develop it into a great program like The Untouchables. When I remembered that, Bud's silly little idea became a challenge. And I said to myself, I'm going to take this idea of Bud Frumps and defrump it. First of all, my prize is not a bond, and it's not money. It's stock.
Stock?
50,000 shares of stock.
Stock in our company?
These days, people like stock better than money.
How can we issue 50,000 extra shares of stock?
That's no problem. It's a simple matter of taking the convertible debentures from the sinking fund, issuing stock options which are exchangeable for rights, which we then convert into non-voting common and replace with warrants.
Tell me that again.
I can't.
It can't be done.
But if it could, would it create a end this excitement?
But it can't be done.
But if it could.
But it can't.
But if it could. JP, just say for a moment that it could be done. What's your answer?
I've forgotten the question.
You can't give away stock. We give away stock dividends, don't we? Please, let me go on with my presentation. We're ready.
Finch, I hate giveaway shows.
So do I, JP, but the public always loves them. I tell you, anyone who comes up with a new, unrigged, unfixed way to give away something for nothing is going to clean up. And I've got a new trick up my sleeve. Gentlemen, the worldwide wicked treasure girl.
What is this?
This, JB, is the secret ingredient. The thing that will take the country by storm. I'm combining greed and sex. Can't miss. Go ahead, Eddie.
Hello there! I'm the worldwide wicked treasure girl. Each week I'm going to bring you a new clue to where the treasure is stashed.
Buried?
Oh yeah, buried. This iPad gets me mixed up sometimes. Isn't this outfit cute? I just love it!
Very nice, Miss LaRue, very nice.
Of course, Miss LaRue is just helping me demonstrate the idea. She won't be a regular treasure girl.
Naturally.
When we actually go on the air, we'll need a big name personality.
Of course. Well, I'm leaving the firm anyway. Of course I wouldn't if...
Offhand, I think this would be great for someone like Elizabeth Taylor.
Why don't you get Queen Elizabeth?
This is an American show, bud. Now, JP, with a beautiful treasure girl and 50,000 shape, let's kill this maniac off and get on with her.
Just a moment. I'll handle this. Gentlemen and Miss LaRue, will you please leave me alone with Mr. Finch?
Okay. Jake, Kara. This is crazy. What about the FCC?
What about the FCC?
What about the stockholders?
What about the board of
What about
directors?
the federal statutes?
What about the federal trade commission?
What about the Senate Investigating Committee? They're all named Eddie.
Finch, you're a bright young chap, but I'm afraid you've let us down.
How, JP?
You've missed the boat. You haven't thought this out properly.
I don't understand, JP.
Tell me, why does this treasure girl have to be a big name personality?
Sir?
Why can't she be someone more identified with the company?
A real worldwide wicked girl.
Yes, me. Say, why not Miss LaRue herself?
Brilliant, JD, brilliant! Instead of an artificial actress, we'll have plain, simple Eddie LaRue, the girl next door. That was a great thought, JP.
It wasn't bad, was it?
And it's all settled.
Just a moment, Finch. Where are you gonna hide the treasure?
JP, this show's going to be completely unrigged. Not even the treasure girl is going to know where the treasure is hidden.
Well, I'd like to know.
Okay, but it's to be a secret between you and me. I'll give you the first clue the treasure girl is going to give on the air. West of the sun, west of the moon, where is the treasure? Blow me a tune.
What the hell was that?
Tough clue, isn't it? But if you will note, the first letter of each line is W. WB, Worldwide Wicked Buildings.
You're going to use our buildings?
I'm going to hide 5,000 shares of stock in each of our 10 worldwide wicked buildings throughout the country. We'll get tremendous publicity.
Like you'll have mobs of people running around searching for the treasure.
JB, if a man as brilliant and educated as yourself couldn't guess from the clue I gave you, do you think the average viewer is going to guess?
Good point. Gentlemen, you can come in now. Gentlemen, I'm thinking of going ahead with this worldwide wicked account. Of course, I'd like your approval.
Well, JB, I think it's an absolutely crazy idea.
I like it.
I like it too. We like it.
The Worldwide Wicket Company, whose slogan for over 100 years has been Worldwide Wickets for a Wider World, presents in living color, in the interest of better television programming, the Worldwide Wicket Treasure Hunt. For our opening number, we present an authentic traditional folk dance of the bold pirate folk of the Spanish Main, presented for your pleasure by the Jolly Wickets and Wickettes.
production value. Shh, give it a chance. Eddie's coming on now.
And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the worldwide wicked treasure girl!
Beginning to get me. I'm beginning to wonder where the treasure is myself.
Yeah, where is it, Ponty?
No, the only people in the whole world who know where the treasure is hidden are JB and myself. Right, JB?
Right, Ponty.
Hello there. I'm about to give you the first clue in the worldwide wicked treasure hunt. In 10 places in this great country are buried 5,000 shares of stock, making a total of 50,000 shares of stock in all. Now, for the first clue. The first clue. Rest of the
One moment, treasure girl. These gentlemen are carrying a Bible. Will you place your right hand on it for me? Do you swear that there has been no trickery, chichinquerie, or dishonesty in connection with this show?
Is that a real Bible?
Why, of course, Miss LaRue.
What's the matter with her? She looks surprised.
She is. Hetty didn't know about this. I wanted this part of the show to be completely spontaneous and
That
unrehearsed.
can be very dangerous.
I think it's very effective.
Do you swear that, Miss LaRue?
I do.
And furthermore, do you swear that you yourself do not actually know where the treasure is?
See, we're going to get in trouble.
Why? We're the only ones in the whole world who know where it's hidden. She doesn't know. Does she?
Let's just watch the program.
Look, I do not wish to take a bum rap. I will not swear false witness to perjury. I do know where the treasure is. I found out last night. It's hidden in all the worldwide wicked buildings right now. The first clue.
How to handle a disaster. In every businessman's career, there are times when things go a bit wrong. We have many suggestions for coping with these little problems. However, should you be the cause of a disaster that's really disastrous, we suggest that your best bet is to review the first chapter of this book, How to Apply for a Job.
Get back here, you! I saw it first!
Have you guys found the bitch yet?
The teacher disappeared. Can't find him. We'll keep looking for him.
Where's Finch?
I don't know, Brad.
Well, JB wants him as fast as you can find him. He's puppy mad. Come back here, you! What are you doing? This little nut tried to slip past me 3 times. This little nut is the chairman of the board. It's Mr. Whopper, chairman of the board. They're looking like to me. I'm very sorry this happened, Mr. Whopper. If you'll just come with me, Mr. Bigley is in his office. Luckily, they didn't correct that. Keep looking for Finch.
Oh, Rosemary, have you seen Ponty anywhere? No, but I'm so worried about him. So am I. He was a nice boy. What? What will they do to him? I don't know. Somebody's head's got to roll. Ponty will think of something. Won't you, Ponty?
You have the clear eyes of a seeker of wisdom and truth. Yet there's that unturned chin and the grin of impetuous youth. Oh, I
Ponty!
I'm so glad you're here.
Where have you been?
Walking the streets, thinking.
You've got a bruise on your head.
It's nothing. I got it last night. They threw me out of a school.
Why did they do that?
Because I didn't buy any.
Brute. Why don't you go home?
No. I've got to go in and face the music. Well, this is it.
The chairman of the board is in there.
I figured that.
What are you going to do?
Do? What does a man do when the world collapses around his ears?
Nothing. I'm just going to take what's coming to me.
Ponty, I know with that mind of yours.
No, Rosemary, I'm through with that mind of mine. I'm just going to make a clean breast of everything and go back to what I was before I came here.
What were you?
I was an exterior decorator. Here I go again. I can't even tell you the truth. I was a window washer.
So what? Ponty, I don't care what you do. I'm sticking. I walked out on you once.
You did?
Well, I'm not leaving you again.
But Rosemary, you can't be the wife of a window washer. That's no life for a woman. Always sitting there at home while I'm up there, never knowing if I've landed safely.
Now listen here, Finch.
Finch, you're wanted in JB's office. Well, I thought I'd wash up first. They want you now.
Gee, can't I even say goodbye to Rosemary?
Go ahead.
Rosemary, goodbye. But I'm so sorry, Rosemary. I wish none of this had ever happened.
Ponty,
Look, Ponty, why should you go in there and face those monsters? Go ahead, run away, escape, I'll pretend I didn't see you for old lang syne.
No, I'm going to face them and get it over. I should think you'd be happy if they killed me.
If I could only be sure. All of our key men are here, JD. Gentlemen, you know Mr. Wally Wonker, the chairman of the board.
Now, Wally, before we go any further, I'd like to say that I realize I'm the president of this company, the man who's responsible for everything. So I'd like to say right now that anything that happened is not my fault. There's one bright side to this whole thing, Wally. We've got someone to pin it on.
Have you found Finch yet?
They're bringing him in. Good. Wally, you'll soon see where the blame for this whole thing lies. And when he gets here, I'll do all the talking. This is a very slick youngster, Wally.
He's here, so...
Look, Mr.
Never mind,
Are
I
you
shall do the talking. Oh, by the way, this is Wally Walker, chairman of the board.
No speeches, Finch!
It's all settled. He'll sign a simple letter of resignation to accept all the blame.
All right, I'd be glad to, Mr. Bigley.
What's that?
Said I'll do what you tell me.
Are you sure this isn't another one of your tricks?
No, Mr. Bigley, I'm through with all of that. You see, this firm has been pretty good to me. Now I'm just going to resign, take the blame, and go back to doing what I did before I came here.
What did you do, Finch?
I was a window washer.
Oh, no kidding! Well, I started as a window washer myself.
You did?
Well, what the hell do you think I was, a rail splitter? College man. So, you're a window washer?
Yes, sir, Mr. Walker.
Oh, please, call me Wally.
Okay, Wally.
Now, tell me this.
Call me Ponty.
Okay, Ponty. Boy, it's been a long time since I had someone around here I could talk to. How did you happen to get into this business?
Well, Mr. Walker, I had a book.
Yeah, me too.
It was a book on how to succeed in business.
Now, you see, my book was more useful. See, I booked beds for all the other window washers. And let me tell you, I sure did clean up a bunch of them. Oh, I should have stayed in that business. Now we have 8 buildings wrecked. Our stock is down 5 points. What it's gone to the industry.
I know, Wally, it's ghastly.
Oh, Ponty, how did this happen? You see, I can understand a college man pulling a boner like this. But idea of yours?
Oh, hold it, Wally. If there's one thing I won't do, it's take credit for another man's idea. Especially when he's the boss's nephew.
You never told me you hired your nephew.
Nephew? Oh, nephew. He's not my nephew, Wally. He's my wife's nephew. I know it may seem like nepotism, Wally, but it isn't. I've never shown him any favoritism. In fact, I hate him.
But you love his ideas.
No. When he first brought me the idea, I told him it's a lousy idea. And when Finch brought it to me, I thought it was a lousy idea, and I told him it's a lousy idea.
Why did you buy it?
It seemed like a good idea.
Treasure hunt? Treasure girl?
Chris, you can't deny the idea for the treasure girl was his.
That's right, yeah.
Alright, yes, that was my idea.
And not a bad one. But who the hell picked the battle-headed tomato?
Now, Wally, you don't understand. This is a very nice girl. You ought to talk to her sometime.
Oh, I intend to. Well, it seems as if I've got the whole picture here, but the real question is, what to do and who to do it to?
Now, hold it, Wally. Before you make any hasty decisions, I'd like to say a few words.
About what?
Humanity. You see, Wally, even though we're all part of this cold corporate setup, deep down under our skin, there's flesh and blood. We're all brothers.
Some of us are uncles.
Now you may join the Elks, my friend, and I may join the Shriners, and other men may carry cards as members of the diners. Still others wear a golden key or small Greek letter pin. But I have learned there's one great club that all of us are in. There is a brotherhood of man, a benevolent brotherhood of man, a noble tie that binds all human hearts and minds into one brotherhood of man. Your lifelong membership is free. Give each brother all you can. Oh, aren't you proud to be in that fraternity, the great big brotherhood of man? So, Wally, I want you to remember that before you consider firing Mr. Bigley.
Who's considering that?
You see, Wally, I know what's on your mind. You'd like to clear the whole lot from top to bottom. That's the obvious move, but stop and think. One man may seem incompetent, another not make sense, while others seem like quite a waste of company expense. They need a brother's leadership, so please don't do them in. Remember, mediocrity is not a mortal sin. They're written in the brotherhood of man, dedicated to giving all we can. Oh, aren't you proud to be in that fraternity, the great big brotherhood of man?
No kidding! He's really a brother. Yes, a brother. Oh, man.
you I never liked.
Look, I can make it all worth your while. No, I can't. It doesn't pay to be decent. Well, I'm not going to go. You can't make me. No, I'm too young to go. I'm just a boy. I'm scared.
Hey, Sonny! You heard any news yet? I haven't heard a thing yet. Mr. Jenkins, you heard anything?
No more nothing.
Looks like a big shake-up.
Boys and girls, may I have a word? As you know, there have been a few changes made at Worldwide Wickets. I am speaking to you now in my new capacity as Vice President in charge of employee morale and psychological adjustment. Mr. Tuckerberry here is now in charge of personnel. Now, I would like you to hear a few words from our hard-driving, hard-working President, J.B. Bigley.
Thank you. I can truly state that Worldwide Wickets is now stronger than ever. I believe most of that credit goes to a certain young and very loyal man. Come out here, Finch. Now, although this youngster's rise has been spectacularly rapid, for a while I thought he was after my job. But luckily for me, he didn't want it.
No, JB, your job is much too tough for me, but I would like to say that if any credit is due, it should go to a great man and great humanitarian, the chairman of the board, Mr. Wally Womper. Incidentally, folks, Mr. Womper has his charming wife with him here today. Let's get them both out here, Mr. and Mrs. Womper. Now, Mr. Womper told me he didn't feel like making any speeches today. He's still a newlywed, but I have a surprise announcement to make about him. After his long years of service, Mr. Wally Womper has decided to retire as chairman of the board, and he and his wife are going to take a long honeymoon trip around the world.
What a surprise, sweetie! You never told me!
I didn't even know! What the hell? It's not a bad idea, that. I'll concentrate on you.
Wally, who's going to be the new chairman of the board? As if I didn't already know.
Just a moment. I don't know if I can accept. I'll have to consult Mrs. Finch.
Rosemary, your husband just called.
Rosemary, I've got a big decision to make. They want to make me chairman of the board. What do you think?
Darling, I don't care if you're head of the mailroom or chairman of the board or president of the United States. I love you.
Say that again.
I love you.
No, before that.
Miss Jones, take a wire to the White House. Watch out!
production of How to Succeed. Did you guys like it? So there are a lot of people, a lot of adults that we need to thank for making this show possible, because we absolutely could not have done it without these very special people. So we would like to thank Mr. Miller, Mr. Cave, Mrs. Cave, Ronnie Gallup, Mrs. Matthews, and Mr. Libby for making this show possible. They push us harder than we ever thought possible, and they have made this show 10 times better than we could have ever imagined, and they just believe in us so much and push us to be absolutely the best we can be, and none of this would have been possible without all of their work. So please give a big hand to our happening tomorrow. Our wonderful Mr. Miller